everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and we are in my hometown, West Palm Beach, Florida. Actually, we're in Loxahatchee, Florida, where there's a big street where I live called Okeechobee Blvd, and if you go straight down, you end up in this farming community called Loxahatchee, and I do many videos there, and I film many people there. But today we're at this produce stand, Caribbean Plants and Produce. There's the address, and I'll also put it below in a link. I've known about this place for a very long time, but today we're going to actually go in and we're going to meet Katie, one of the owners here, and we're going to look around this amazing mom and pop farmers stand and see what they got growing on here. What's really cool about this place, a lot of the local growers, they'll come here and they'll give her some of the produce to sell. So that's really cool. So you're getting local produce. This is the place to go if you want local produce for sure. I'd definitely come here before I go to Whole Paycheck or one of these other stores. Right here in front, they're selling some fruit trees, and definitely they have mango trees for sale, and they have other different sapodillas and star fruit. And as you come inside here, they have just a bunch of stuff where Katie's going to show us around today and show us all the things they got growing on here. But they have so many right now. It's mango season, so many mangoes, and they have an excellent price for these mangoes as well. You're not going to find fresh, locally grown mangoes cheaper anywhere. And they have them here, and some really unique varieties as well, local seedlings from local people and their trees, and they also have watermelon, jackfruit, flowers, and everything else. So we're gonna check it out today, and we're gonna have a great time. So here's Katie, and she's gonna show us around. All right, everybody, here we are at Caribbean Plants and Produce, and this is Katie, and Katie is one of the owners here. Katie, tell us about this place. How long has it been here, and what do you do here?
Yeah, well, one of the cool things about this place is there's probably been a produce stand, plant nursery on the corner here of F Road in Okeechobee for maybe 40 years. Me and my partner Joelle have been here for 10 years. Before us, his aunt and uncle were here for 25 years. And before them, other people were here running a produce stand and plant nursery. So my estimate is about 40 years. This has been the community hub, farmers market and produce stand. Come inside and I'll show you around.
All right, so this is a nice, looks like a mom and pop stand store here, and it's really nice. And I've been here a good amount of times, but I don't know if I've ever been here during mango season, so this is really cool. So
it's
show us around your store here.
Yeah, mango season, summertime. Summertime is fun because we definitely focus on tropical fruits. There's a lot of fun mangoes, but also sugar apples and soursops and lychees and longans. There's a lot of actual fruit farms here in Loxahatchee, and we're lucky to be neighbors with a lot of these big fruit farms, but a lot of individual neighbors also grow things, and people like to come here to sell whatever products they have too much of or extra. In the winter time, there's a big focus on vegetables, and we try to get as much local organic produce as we can get our hands on. But summertime is definitely tropical fruit season. You can see here on our center island, we have big selection of mangoes, but also we got in some nice passion fruits this morning from a local farm. Over here, normally this is always just vegetables on this section, but all the mangoes are bleeding over into the vegetable section. However, we do have some fun yard-long green beans right now coming from one of our neighbors. This is kind of an Asian-style green bean that can handle the heat and humidity of the summertime. Some vegetables can. We're still stocking things like organic tomatoes and organic cucumbers and organic zucchini, but these are probably being grown indoors at this point in places like central or northern Florida. We have a section here, I should mention, of bulk organic dry herbs and spices, all stuff we get through this great company, Mountain Rose Herbs. And they make sure not only everything is certified organic, they make sure it's fair trade and sustainable. They make sure it's good for the communities where they're being farmed, like they're not chopping down the rainforest to plant the turmeric type of thing. But they're a great company. They source stuff from all over the world, and they're notorious for giving back and being a great charitable company as well. we try to get as much stuff from the community and support everybody's little efforts. So we always have local hot sauce, local jams and jellies, homemade soaps, homemade lotions, all different things that the neighbors are bringing in. We always have local honey. Right now we're getting honey from Grassroots and Grains, this great local company that we get local homemade juices from, hot sauces, different products, and also McCoy's. They're a Loxahatchee staple. We're getting in a lot of beautiful bananas right now. We always have eggs from the neighborhood. We have a section of bulk organic grain products like basmati rice and lentils and bulgur. Mangoes continue on the back shelf. They're all everywhere. I think we probably have about 20 varieties of mangoes right now, some of which we know the names of, but a lot of unknown varieties. We do some of our own in-house tea blends. So we're putting together tea blends for different, you know, things. Morning blends, night blends, men's blends, different things like that. There's a lot of plants for sale inside the produce stand, but we have an entire plant nursery outside as well.
So is all the produce that you have here 100% from local growers?
Yeah, well, not 100%. For example, right now I think we have some avocados from the Dominican Republic, and we have some little avocados from Mexico. And I think the carrots right now are coming from Canada. But we try to get as much local and organic as we can find, and then we fill in the gaps from there. Some fun different varieties of mangoes we've been getting in. Lots of the Carabao mangoes, which are the type of mango where it seems like the longer you wait, the better and sweeter they get. Where some mangoes, you can't let them get too ripe, also they get off. But this is one of my favorites right now that the neighbors are bringing called Canela mangoes. Very sweet and spicy, medium fiber, almost cinnamon notes like the name.
Canela, that's from a local tree?
Yeah. Yeah, all these mangoes right now are coming from Loxahatchee. I don't think any of the mangoes in the produce stand are coming from too far outside of Loxahatchee, maybe Wellington or Royal Palm Beach.
So is that big mango there. That's amazing.
Yeah, this is the cabeza mango.
Wow.
We have a good amount of them on the back shelf right now. But I think this is probably one of the biggest mangoes I've ever seen.
Now, we know it's big, but does it taste nice and sweet, or is it just...
The good thing about cabeza is it's supposed to taste real good. I mean, to me, they look like a big keat, like very delicious looking. However, the Lancetilla mango, which is also one of the biggest mangoes, these ones are not quite as delicious as a lot of other varieties of mangoes, but I guess I haven't had a chance to try one of the big cabeza mangoes yet. So
how many pounds would you say that cabeza is?
I was saying it's about as big as I want my bowling balls to feel, you know. I think it's about a 5 pound.
Wow.
I think this one, we can weigh it here. This one, oh, it's almost 6 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now, here's another thing that's
for...
special about this place here is most places that sell locally grown mangoes, and they're completely different, everybody, from what you can get in your store, in a regular store. Most places that are selling mangoes like this are selling them for $5 or $6 a pound. So if somebody wanted to buy a cabeza mango like that, they're spending $30 for one mango. So
well,
tell us, since you're doing
some
this,
people have told us that cabeza mango should be about $15, but luckily, if you come here, that cabeza mango right now is $1.29 a pound. Some of our bigger mangoes, like the Lancetillas and the cabezas, we're selling for $1.29 a pound. But most of all the other varieties are $1.99 a pound, which is still a great deal. Right now, you can get Nam Doc Mai for $1.99 a pound. We've got Valencia Pride, and we've got Coggshall right now. The Canela mangoes I was mentioning, Carabao. We have a lot of Tommy Atkins and Keats and Kents and Haydens. But right now we have Hatchers coming in.
Now I see varieties. A lot of jackfruit around here as well.
We have a few Julie mangoes.
Oh,
these are very popular mangoes, and you always can tell a Julie by their funny square shape that they have.
Wow. Yeah. What about the jackfruits? What varieties of those do you have? Do you know, or?
Well, some of them are unknown varieties. They could be crunchy, they could be yellow, they could be pink, they could be soft and mushy. But a lot of them right now are what we call red Thai. They're coming from one particular neighbor who has a Thai red jackfruit that he got from Excalibur in a contest. And now the tree has grown up and he's selling us the fruit. So we feel really lucky to be getting those red Thai jackfruits in from him. Yeah, jackfruits are an interesting fruit that grows around here year round. We actually get jackfruits in all year round, and some jackfruits need to be cooked like vegetables, but some jackfruits are really delicious for eating when they're nice and ripe. Another fun tropical fruit we've been getting in lately are the sapodillas. These are some pretty nice big sapodillas coming from one of the neighbors. Yesterday we had mamey sapote from another neighbor, but those went pretty quickly. Every day is different. You never know what you'll find. New things coming in from the community.
Now, besides local shopping, do you ship it all in the mail?
No, but we're thinking about expanding, you know, to the shipping idea, but not quite yet.
Do you have a website, or is it just...
Well, we mainly use the Facebook, the Instagram, and our Google listing for promotion right now.
Okay, I'll put all those links below, everybody, with all the information here. But that's great. Now, I saw outside, right in front, you're selling some mango trees. And you have other trees, fruit trees here for sale. I know you have a nursery in the back we'll take a look at. But where'd you get these mango trees from? Did you graft them, or did you get them from somewhere?
Well, we do a lot of plant propagation here, but most all of our grafted trees we get through Zill's high performance plants. You can tell the Zill's plants because they all have these yellow tags on them that identify them clearly.
Yeah, you got a great selection. Anyone that's looking for mango trees, it's another great place to get them. They have a wonderful selection. I was just looking here. I didn't even get to the nursery in the back, and they have just a beautiful selection of variety of mangoes, and they even have some avocados as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to sell this lemon meringue today. It's got nice branching on it for being a little 3-gallon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lemon meringue. That's amazing.
Strawberry tree. This is a great shade-producing tree. Grows year-round and produces fruit, you know, can produce fruit year-round and grows quickly to be a nice shade-producing tree.
Is that a canisteel right there? Or
this is a loquat, grafted loquat.
So give us an example how much you sell in your 3-gallon mangoes.
Yeah, the 3-gallon mangoes, the 3-gallon loquats, 3-gallon strawberry trees are $40.
Okay.
And the grafted 7 gallons are $80.
Okay.
When people buy a lot of fruit trees from us, we tend to knock off $5 here and there.
Okay, you got a big sapodilla right there.
Yeah, big grafted sapodilla. This guy's about $100.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
And you have a whole bunch of trees you're growing out back as well, right?
Yeah. Besides fruit trees, we also have a little bit focus on pollinator plants. We try to have some support plants for the bees and butterflies. So you'll notice flowers sprinkled here and there. We work with Melissa at Let It Rot, and she helps bring in a lot of pollinator plants as well as worms and worm casting tea. This kind of thing we'll sell here for supporting the garden.
That's great. I love this place. I love the feel of this place. You have some coconuts here as well. Wow, you got a lot of coconuts here. So if somebody didn't have a coconut tree and they wanted to get fresh coconuts, this would be the place to go. I know a friend that actually comes here once a week and picks up a bunch of those. And what's that? Show us that worm tea fertilizer. Wow, that's really cool.
So this is basically pure worm poo that has been brewing in this bucket with kelp and molasses, and we start it over every week, and every weekend it's ready to go, and it's got all these great with the oxygen bubbling in there. All what I've learned is all the microbes and microorganisms from inside the worm's digestive system are reproducing in this barrel with the oxygen, the kelp, the molasses. So by the time it's ready, it's a very concentrated concentrated brew that's great for the soil health, root health, and it's something that can be diluted up to 10 times. So you can use it as general maintenance in the garden or put it directly on the plants, and it's safe enough to use directly on the roots for a plant that really is struggling. It could help them overcome a pest or mold issue, or if something seems stagnant, like they just haven't been doing much growing, you might try some worm tea.
That's wonderful. Wow, that's great. Very cool. And
Yeah,
that definitely
this
helps
is
in
definitely a
growing.
project from our friends at Let It Rot. And Melissa is also often here on Sundays helping to explain this and sell this to people, and she helps out a lot here. So, put this back together. In our cooler, we have some fun local things like homemade sauerkraut and homemade kombucha. Lots of times we have local juices in here as well.
Wow, and you come out back and it's this amazing nursery here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many acres do you have here?
Well,
Or how much land?
Yeah, there's under 2 acres, and maybe about an acre of it is available for the customers to walk around. We have a lot of things mixed up as far as landscaping plants and fruit trees. We inherited the landscaping nursery, but our main interest was definitely edibles and fruit trees. So we've been slowly, through the past 10 years, kind of transitioning from a mostly palm tree and landscaping nursery to a mostly edible nursery. You know, we can walk around here and I can show you some of our fruit tree sections, but also some of the experimental gardening we're doing. For example, I was trying to sell all these Everglades tomatoes, but now I'm just leaving them here so I can eat Everglades tomatoes every day. They're kind of getting a little long and leggy.
And for those of you that are not familiar, Everglades tomato grows all year. Tomato grows all year in Florida here. They're these little tomatoes. They taste amazing.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of things are just repropagating, like the tomatoes will kind of just seed themselves and come back every year. Also, the red amaranth likes to just pop up here and there. We try to let some weeds just go, edible things, we try to let them just live, even if they're sharing a pot with something else. So, looks like we're having some maintenance. This is a lot of grafted mango trees and avocado trees. You know, we don't sell any citrus on this nursery. A lot of people come here looking for citrus, but we don't actually have the proper permit or license to sell citrus. The state wants to regulate it because of the citrus diseases, and they want to make sure people are putting the chemicals on the citrus trees correctly. And we don't want to deal with the chemicals, nor do we want to deal with the extra money with the permit, so we just don't sell citrus. But
so is everything here pretty much organic of what you're growing?
Yeah, on our farm they are. Yeah, once something comes here, we don't use chemical pesticides or fertilizers on this farm. We do a ton of composting. We do a lot of worm tea, and we also like to spray garlic juice around. Every couple weeks, my partner will fill up a sprayer with like garlic juice mixed with water, and we try to use that to keep pests, mosquitoes at bay.
What about some of the trees you're getting from other places, like your local farmers? Do you ask them if they spray or not, or you don't really talk to them about it?
We assume that a lot of places that we get fruit trees from, and the neighbors that are bringing some in, they might be using some chemical, pesticide or fertilizer on it. But we don't really ask about that. When they get here, we treat them organically, and it seems like after a while the plant maybe can flush itself of whatever might be lingering. Yeah.
As for the local fruit that you're getting and so on, the same situation, you don't know, some people might be organic, some maybe not?
Well, some things we get are certified organic. We know for sure that the farm has gone through the certification, but a lot of our neighbors are not going to pay the extra money to have something certified organic. So we trust that, when they say that they're growing something organically, that it probably means they're not using pesticides or fertilizers, and we feel good with that. But yeah, some things like a lot of our vegetables right now, our tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchinis are certified organic, and all of our Mountain Rose Herbs products, all of our dry bulk ingredients that we get from Mountain Rose Herbs are all certified organic. We've got a organically grown chia bush there.
That's big.
My partner really doesn't like that bush because when he cuts it back, it has sometimes these little nettle-like stingers on the branches. So if you rub up against some of the main branches of this, you can really get a good sting. So he doesn't like dealing with it, but I love it for the bees and the butterflies, and it's so beautiful and, you know, edible.
What about the flowers on there, the white flowers? Are they edible as well?
I don't know. I mean...
So do you actually use the plant to, I know you need to boil it, but do you actually use the plant yourself?
I haven't, no.
Yeah.
I eat a ton of the longevity spinach. I'll show you my longevity spinach patch later. But yeah, I haven't cooked or eaten the chia yet.
It's looking
really good. If I do it, it seems like now would be a good time. It looks really nice and healthy.
I see you have a mango tree here.
Yeah, this mango tree is a seedling. It's probably been here for about 8 years, and I think this is the first year that it's fruited, and it's loaded with lots of little fruits that we have yet to try ripe. We did have some of the green fruit chopped up into a chutney, or cooked down into a chutney, I should say, but yeah, we haven't. It's definitely like this short little seedling. There's another seedling right there.
Do you know what they're seedlings of?
No, they're seedlings of somebody who sat under this coconut tree and ate a mango and spit the mango seed there, and then 8 years later. Yeah. Sometimes volunteers make the best long-term tenants. So yeah, we have we always have a good variety of grafted mangoes and things like star fruits. And we also can special order plants, you know, if we can, we special order things for customers all the time. So if you want something in a larger pot, like a 15-gallon or 25-gallon, or a special variety of avocado, we can often find that. Hey. So, little passion fruit section that really got chewed up by the caterpillars, but I think most of the caterpillars are gone now. It's kind of a seasonal thing, and now they're gonna start growing back. Mm-hmm.
How many personal trees do you have on the property? Because I see some various trees.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Haven't counted. Huh?
No. Mm-mm. We have a little experimental garden here that's getting a little overgrown with weeds now that it's summertime, but I'm still harvesting butterfly pea flowers and butterfly pea flower seeds all the time. We do a lot of propagation of the butterfly pea flower, and I love to add these to my salads or tea, or use them as a garnish.
So those are edible raw?
Yeah, these are edible, but also butterfly pea flower is so fun because there's all these fun culinary things you can do, like make blue tea, and then turn that into something like blue cocktail or blue rice, or I've even had blue sourdough bread made with the butterfly pea flower water. Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be medicinal, though I don't really exactly remember the medicinal properties. It's considered medicinal. We've got a lot of pigeon pea on the property. I love pigeon pea because it's nitrogen fixing. It grows really well in the summertime, or some things struggle in the summertime. Pigeon pea loves the summer. Big bushy green leaves in the summertime, and then in the wintertime, that's when you get the beautiful yellow flowers and the pigeon peas, otherwise known as gandules or gungum peas. The pigeon peas are great for cooking into rice or soup. But also people grow pigeon peas just to use as chop and drop, just to chop it up and let it mulch in the garden. It's good. I like them because they provide shade. They're nitrogen fixing, and I use them as support plants for other climbing vining things like the butterfly pea flower and my chayote, which also chayote tends to climb on everything, and I kind of try to let it because I really like to eat chayote, but it does tend to weigh a lot of things down, so Right now it's growing up on the pigeon peas.
How much of the food do you grow do you consume in your diet?
Every day I'm making salads, and I mean, I feel like all day long I'm eating mangoes and tea. I like to drink herbal tea and eat mangoes. And then in the evening, I usually make something, and often I try to incorporate some of the veggies and greens that we have on the farm. Like last night, we used some of this sea spinach.
Yeah.
It's a type of hibiscus, but it's also an edible spinach, and you can eat it raw. And my friend Mel gave it to me. Yeah, but I've been growing it for a long time. I just recently started using it because I realized you could eat it raw. I thought before it was like the chia, maybe you had to cook it. But yeah, it's something you can definitely eat raw. Beautiful flowers. They look so, or leaves, they look so stunning here, these big guys.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Over here, I've got some, you know, things that are also getting a little overgrown now that it's summertime with weeds, but we did a lot of tomatoes here, and we've got some bananas going on. This is kind of our property line, so we're just kind of using the property line space to grow veggies and stuff.
There's a coconut tree right behind you there too. How old is that coconut?
That coconut's not that old. I think it's probably been there for like 2 or 3 years, but because it's had its roots in the ground, it's really had a chance to grow big quickly. Yeah.
Well, it might get really big. What's your plan with it?
Well, it's too much for me to handle. My partner might decide someday to take a chainsaw to it if it gets in the way. But I kind of feel like around here, unless something really is in the way, it kind of gets to go. Like this enormous fishtail palm, which was not that big 5 years ago, and now is really taking up a lot of space. We've got some really nice, well-established jackfruit seedlings right now. These are kind of at a bargain. Most of these are between $50 and $100, these well-established jackfruit seedlings, pretty much ready to start making flowers and trying to do their thing. Do you know what they're seedlings
of, or just very?
Yeah, they are seedlings of the most delicious jackfruits we've eaten over the past few years. We like to save the seeds of what we think were really good and plant those ones for our nursery. So they could be... Mostly they're crunchy varieties. Some of them could be like pink or red flesh varieties. It's so interesting with jackfruits because they have so many different shaped leaves. And I wish I could look at the leaves and identify the type of jackfruit, but I don't know that yet. But yeah, like here's a jackfruit that has maple shaped leaf and round leaf.
All in the same one,
and
yeah.
This jackfruit these leaves kind of look like avocados, really round. And some jackfruits have these long, skinny leaves like a mango. Yeah.
Now, when you plant these seedlings, are you using any special soil, or do you just use what you got?
We use a mix between our compost, some mulch that we've had in the back of the property that got dropped off a year or two ago, and some recycled potting soil from our friends that have a herb plant business. So you would get kind of a mix of everything, potting soil and compost and mulch that's composted as well. Back here we've got some beautiful cassava, yucca. We use this kind of yucca patch to take cuttings and propagate to sell the plants. But hopefully someday I'll get to eat a fresh yucca root from the garden. That hasn't happened yet. Turmeric, I love turmeric because in the summertime when everything else is starting to like suffer from the heat and humidity, turmeric is just growing big and beautiful. Turmeric loves the summer, and it's a great thing to grow in the shade in the summertime. And in the wintertime, you know, the leaves die back, and that's when people dig out and use the turmeric root. So often in the wintertime we have lots of really nice local organic turmeric in our produce stand. So this is hard to get through, but not too hard.
Okay, I'll get there. All right.
Sorry about that. Let's see. Well, okay. I'm just going to leave that, I guess. Yeah, more pigeon peas back here. More tomatoes that are trying to hang in there. I guess we'll go this way. Let's see. You can see a little bit of areca palms being propagated. These were volunteers that we just weeded out of the grass and underneath an areca palm, and we just didn't want them to go to waste. Also, arecas good for privacy hedging, and a lot of people come and ask for areca, so we keep a little bit going. Lots of coconut palms. If you need a cheap, inexpensive coconut, everybody comes here and asks for dwarf coconut, and I don't think we have any dwarf coconuts. We definitely have coconuts that will produce golden colored coconuts, ones that will produce yellow coconuts, and ones that will produce green coconuts. And my friend Ram, he taught me that if you keep the coconuts well mulched, keep a good pile of mulch around the base of the coconut, it will help the coconut to grow wide rather than tall. So that's what we suggest our customers do if they want to keep a coconut shorter. We have a lot of tamarind right now, and chocolate pudding fruits, caimito and June plums, loquats. A lot of these are seedlings, so if people want to practice grafting or get into grafting plants, these are very inexpensive seedlings that one could, let go and wait the 5 years it takes for the fruit to come, or they could practice grafting onto them. Let's see, this kind of missed that section, but we can maybe get it on the way back. This is another little experimental garden space where we have 2-year-old pigeon peas that are making some nice shade for sweet potatoes, and we've also got some pumpkin growing in through here. Papayas that are struggling. I'm not really sure why. We've got some well-established soursop trees, guanabana trees that were transplanted by my partner last year. So they've really I've got 3 big ones here that are literally only been here for about a year, and they spent a half a year with no leaves on them at all. So I'm really happy to see them looking so healthy after the transplant and the winter. So in here, underneath this pumpkin, is one of my favorite veggie that I grow year round. This is the longevity spinach. Absolutely love longevity spinach. It is so delicious for eating raw. You can add it, last minute to a soup or a salad. And also, it's so fun and easy to propagate. Once you get a few longevity spinach plants going, you could really have a large amount of longevity spinach quickly. It seems to grow well year-round, but it really appreciates a little bit of shade in the summertime. But whenever I harvest the longevity spinach, I like to pick off the big leaves for my salad, and then I take a few of the stems with maybe 1 or 2 leaves attached, and I go and I just stick it back in a pot somewhere or some soil somewhere in the shade. And really, after a few days, they start rooting in so easy. And if you have a little bit of shade, you could grow this great healthy spinach year-round. Yeah, longevity spinach, they say it's good for, lowering cholesterol like other spinaches, but also has the ability to regulate blood pressure and blood sugar almost instantly when you eat it raw. So sometimes if I'm feeling a little funny, like maybe I ate too much sugar, I come out and eat a big handful of the longevity spinach. This is another big experimental garden over here. We've got well-established avocado trees also that we saved from a neighbor who was selling their farm, and they was going to have horses and they were going to take down all the fruit trees. So we went in with some heavy equipment and a few guys and dug out with chainsaws big established avocados, mangoes, lychees. There was about 10 of these big fruit trees. And again, for a year, they were like sticks in the ground, and we were just, crossing our fingers, hoping they came through. And I think 7 out of 10 of them did come through. So now we've got some big lychees, big mangoes in here. We got a really beautiful Glen mango out of it, lychee trees that have been producing off and on. Right now, we've got some passion fruit vine that's completely taken over a lot of the lychee. And we got some avocados coming in. Most of our mangoes are done, but this section of experimental garden is kind of interesting. Not only is there big bananas in here and sugarcane growing and lots of coconuts, but this is where we throw our compost. So we don't have a lot of space on this farm, so we kind of have to combine activities. So we've got a lot of things growing in here, but we're also tossing in buckets of our leftovers from the produce stand. Like right now, we're unfortunately composting a lot of mangoes. So a lot of mangoes are getting thrown in here for compost. We have a little bargain area over here of 1 gallon plants. Really good deals on 1 gallons like guavas and papayas, passion fruit starts, little anonas, sugar apples, cherimoyas, atamoyas, sour sops, all kind of being grown in here. So this is a great resource for people that want to practice some grafting and get some inexpensive seedlings. Let's see. Back here, you can see there's some leftover palm trees here and there, but where they're kind of slowly being taken over by things like big sour sops. We have some gumbo limbos and a few larger trees, but
those sour sops are really big and they're in pots. Look at that. Wow.
I know. They would be really difficult to move.
Yeah.
But technically, I guess they're for sale. I don't want to sell them. I don't want to look at them. Our compost area has a lot of volunteers that we let go because it's so beautiful, like this belladonna. But also we'll take cuttings from it and use the cuttings for propagation. Every once in a while, we'll go in and dig out seedlings and pot up all the seedlings. This kind of compost area makes a lot of good fruit trees, seedlings. A little bit of the leftover palm trees that we've had for 10 years. There's some nice established trees on the property that make nice shade. Back here, our worker likes to work in this really cool shady area where there's a lot of shade from this huge K-pop or silk floss tree. Some of the biggest trees on the property are these silk floss trees. And we've got one here and a couple big ones in the back.
Those are very unique trees. They have spikes coming out of the sides.
Yeah, if you can get
pretty
up
amazing.
close to them. I mean, you don't really want to like be under one during a big storm because these branches do tend to fall off.
They're big trees. They're beautiful and very unique. Not everyone has them.
Yeah. Also, the Royal Poincianas have really, you know, pretty much grown as big as they are in the past 5 to 10 years. And they provide a lot of shade for this area. So when we first propagate plants or we need a good shady spot, you know, the plants really like this area underneath the Royal Poinciana and the silk floss tree while they're just getting started. Mm-hmm.
Now, is this a property that you live on? Or
yeah, so this is the rest of our property where we, which is not generally for walking around because there's too many hazards.
No, that's great that you have your business. Not only do you got this like mom and pop business, but you actually live on the land. That's so wonderful. So you really...
Yeah, it's nice to be able to just wake up and walk up to work. You know, I feel bad for people that have to spend a lot of time driving around all the time. I try to be in the vehicle, not that often.
That is great.
So I'm often on the farm, but I really am thankful that I get to live and work here.
So your full place is about 2.5 acres?
It's a little under 2 acres.
Okay, so everybody, this is what you can do with 2 acres. Absolutely amazing. And like somebody told me a long time ago, everything you need to eat for you and your whole family, you could, on a 1/4 acre, you could probably grow if you do it strategically.
Yeah, yeah.
This is wonderful what you got here. I'm going to put the hours and the contact information below, but this is definitely a hidden gem because they're like out of the way. They're not in like some big shopping mall. This is a really cool place that I've been coming to for years. This is excellent. And how do you, I see these big poles. Is that how you water everything, or do you have an irrigation on some parts?
Yeah, so there's, pretty much the whole front half of the property is irrigated. That was a nice thing that we did inherit, was the irrigation system was already in place, though we've done a lot of maintenance to it over the years. Always needs upgrades.
Do you have a well on the property?
Yeah, we have one.
Okay. So you said your aunt had this place before you?
Yeah, my partner, Joel, his aunt and uncle, they ran this place for 25 years. Produce stand and a plant nursery, and she also would make things like tamales and empanadas and little plate lunches for the, you know, landscapers and workers in the area.
It's great that you kept it going. Very cool place. What is this tree here? There's another mango?
Yeah, another volunteer, and
right.
it hasn't had fruit yet, but I think it maybe flowered this year, and there's a chance that it might make some fruit next year.
You want to get on it, though?
Definitely a seedling.
Okay.
So I'll show you my neighbor over here, Betty.
Okay, this is Betty, our neighbor who's growing orchids here.
So my friend Betty, her and her family run this business, Duncan and Sons. They've got an amazing selection of orchids, but other shade-loving plants, succulents, house plants, hanging plants, gifts.
Now, is this your property as well, or is it their property?
No, they sublet from us here.
Wow, beautiful here.
Orchid greenhouse.
Wow, look how beautiful that is. Wow.
Yeah, so people come from far and wide to buy orchids and orchid supplies here. Not only does she sell orchids, she sells everything you need to put together your own beautiful arrangements, including mulch, and she's got all these nice forms and hangers, wire and fertilizer, and in here you can see there's a lot of things that she puts together that make lovely gifts ready to go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, she's got new things coming in all the time. There's always these like kind of hidden amazing things here and there.
Wow. Wow, this is beautiful.
This is a really popular place for people to bring visitors or relatives. It's really busy on Mother's Day and Valentine's Day. So yeah, it's a fun place to walk around, and a lot of people come here and just spend some time looking at everything, taking pictures. These are the cattleyas. I'm learning a little bit about orchids, and I know these are called cattleya orchids, and some of them have really nice scent to them. Not all orchids smell, but this variety often has a nice aroma.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Kind of amazing things here.
Things that are going on in this property here.
Betty, what is this plant?
Anise, I think it's anise.
Anise? Okay.
Yeah. Anise. You can make tea for the stomach.
Uh-huh.
The stomach, for the stomach.
So she does have some herb plants here too. For example, this lovely basil.
Hey, babe. Here, show off this emperor lychee.
Yeah, lychee season is
Look how big that is.
good. Another bonus of working here is getting to eat fun tropical fruit all the time. Emperor lychee has been our late season lychee that we've been getting in from the community, and we have been loving them. Very good, very juicy. Most lychees I can eat in one bite, but it takes me a few bites to eat an emperor lychee. Now this is basil. And beautiful bromeliads here. Got some guava trees out here. Betty has some edible plants here and there, like some good herbs often. She has rue or ruta, peppermints, you know, rosemary. No, that's not an herb plant.
Oh, this is wonderful,
Anyways,
this place here.
A little
And,
loop around.
And
But yeah, we're here on the northwest corner of Okeechobee and F Road in Loxahatchee.
yeah, basically you go to Okeechobee and just go west, and you're going to hit them. And there's the address, 13527 or 13527 Okeechobee Boulevard. And there's their hours. So they open up early every morning, 7 a.m.
Well, it's actually
or 8 a.m.
it's hard to read, but it's 8 to 5
8
pretty
to 5.
much.
Okay.
Yeah. Sundays we
Early
close
enough.
at 3, but we're open 7 days a week.
All right. Well, this has been a wonderful tour. Thank you for showing us this amazing
thanks for
place.
coming.
Yes, and these bananas are all local and everything, right?
Yeah. Well, the large Cavendish here are coming from Central America, but all the small, we have a lot of, we always carry these because these are staple. Everybody wants these all the time, the big Cavendish from Central America, but we often have lots of local bananas, including Namois, and one of my favorites, these are manzanos, or apple
these are
bananas.
amazing. Yep, those are my favorites.
And then this is the burro banana. Burro banana is so great because they are very versatile. You could boil them with the peels on like potatoes. You can fry them like tostones or wait for them to ripen up and fry them into, fried ripe banana. But also when they're nice and tender and yellow, you can eat them raw like a regular banana. Use them in smoothies. And, people really like this banana, the burro banana.
Very nice. All right.
So watermelon season I thought was over for us, but then we have this neighbor that grew all these watermelons. It's kind of amazing. He's right here in the acreage, and we've been getting these nice little natural seeded watermelons in from him. So we thought that we were going to have to wait, for the fall for local watermelons, but you never know.
Well, in general, now's the time to grow it, right? In the summer?
I thought that we were getting watermelons in the spring and the fall, and now here we are kind of in the middle of summer and we're getting some watermelons.
All summer. Summer's great for watermelons, yeah. Well, everywhere you look here, there's jackfruits, there's mangoes. This place is amazing. Thank you very much for what you're doing and for keeping the stand going. And this is a great place. I highly recommend people get on out here. I'll put the information below. Thank you so much for taking the time to show us around.
Thank you so much for coming.
All right, everybody. That was this Caribbean plant and produce place. Absolutely amazing. I'm so excited about this place and everything they have going on here. Definitely come on out and support them if you're in the South Florida area. They have so many great projects going on here. But if you're looking for one place to get all the locally grown food, people know about this place and bring their food they're growing here. So this is definitely a place to come and check out, even local coconuts and just everything. I'm gonna get some mangoes and do some taste tests at home with, because they have some unique mangoes, because nobody I know is selling that cabeza mango that she held up, that big 6-pound mango, but she also has these other spicy mangoes I'm going to try. So I'm going to try some of these mangoes. I definitely recommend you all come on out here. Again, I'll put the information below. Worth the trip when you're in South Florida. Even if you're in anywhere from all the way from Miami and Homestead all the way up to Orlando, drive 1 or 2 hours and come check out this place, because this is how it needs to be done. I believe this is my ultimate goal and dream, to have a 2-acre property that I'm living on and have a fruit stand in front, where a farm in back where I'm growing. This is my goal. And this is great because she's growing her own food for herself and also supplying food at a low price to the community, connecting a lot of people, a lot of farmers. This is it. This is, of every farm I've been to, every place I've been to, this is my goal, to have a place like this. And I think it's wonderful the way she does it and the way they're doing it here. And I thank you to Caribbean Plant and Produce, and I recommend everyone come here. So thank you. Please put your comments and questions below. If you have questions, post them below. And please subscribe if you're not already subscribed to this channel. I do my best to go out there and get this information out to others and connect people and let people know of who's selling what and who's growing what, so you can learn and know what to grow. So please share this video with others, especially to let people know about these people and support these places. So thank you very much for watching, everybody, and thank you for the support of this channel. Until then, everybody, have a great day and keep growing.